Dial, I had a question for you. How many of you have ever seen the meme where there's a guy sitting at a table, he's got a sign in front of his table, he's drinking a cup of coffee, he's really happy, and he's got a sign with this real controversial question on it, and it says, "Change my mind" underneath. Well, I'd like to ask you, if I were to talk to you about history, how many of you would probably roll your eyes and ask me to change your mind? Probably because you grew up with history and you were bored with it, because when you were taught, you were probably taught facts, dates, things that really didn't have a lot of life to them. So what happened is you didn't really enjoy history because it was so dull and kind of flat. So what I'd like to ask you then is, if you had any friends, how many of you, if I were to talk to you about somebody you knew in your past, and this person did something really dumb, I mean really dumb, and you still laugh about it maybe years later because of whatever they did that you could not believe actually happened. Or perhaps what happened was the person did something incredibly brave, and you look back and you go, wow, this guy did something that was really gutsy. Maybe it was a guy that did something that got the girl, or they saved a life, or something incredible like that. Well, you see, history is the same way. The difference in history, though, is the scale of things. These people that you studied in history all had problems. They all had lives just like we do. But the difference was, though, is they did something that was remembered over time. So if you look at it this way, it's all the same thing, but like I said, the difference is scale. For example, sports is another thing. How many of you could probably remember a great play in football, or a great play in baseball, or some other sport that you could talk about for years because of that one play? Well, see, that's history. You just didn't realize it because you were probably taught in the way, like as I spoke of, that probably was very boring. So if I were to give you a couple of examples, you may suddenly realize history is very different than the way you thought it was. For example, if I were to talk to you about George Custer, many of you might remember that he was the one who lost the Battle of Big Horn, and that would be all you would remember. But you probably did not realize that George Custer also once shot his own horse from underneath him while he was riding it and killed the horse dead. Or how many of you knew about the role of women in World War II? Or that 21 people died in a molasses spill in Boston by drowning? Or how many of you understood the story of the United States military accidentally almost nuking a town in North Carolina that would have left a radiation cloud from Jacksonville, Florida to Washington, D.C.? See, this is all history, but probably many of you have not heard it because you didn't understand the people that were involved in it, or what was the stakes were, or something of those lines, because of not understanding how history really was with the people involved. See, educators, they have a job to do. And a lot of them may not know how to teach you history in a way that's going to get you excited about it. They want to do their job. They want to be able to help you get the grade. But then after that, you pretty much forget it and you go on with your life to the next stage. Well, my goal is to help you get excited about history. My goal is to also help educators maybe find a way or a tool that could possibly interest you in history, so that when you go through life, either as a student or as a layman, you'll understand that history actually has a great role in your life, and how important it is to understand that where we came from helps determine where we go as a nation. And we live in an amazing nation. So what I want to do is help teach you this and help you understand it and help you enjoy it so that you want to learn more about it. So if you're an educator, please leave a comment. If you're a layman or anybody else who knows something about history that you would like to tell me, because this is about teaching lesser known history that's going to make you much more excited about it. So I want to do, excuse me for tripping over my words, I want to help you enjoy history and learn how much fun it can be and how exciting it is to learn the good details as well as the bad details. Now, the videos will be usually about 5 to 10 minutes long, with the goal of teaching things that are going to be maybe things you didn't hear of, or maybe it's just going to be an angle that you didn't know before. Either way, feel free to leave a comment. If you enjoyed this subject, feel free to like it. If you really want to learn more, subscribe. And if you really, really like it, click on the bell and you'll get notifications for whenever I do videos. It'll usually be about once a week, probably starting out about once every 2 weeks. In the meantime, my name is Jeff Dial. This is Footprints in American History. I hope you enjoy the channel. And in the meantime, fair winds and following season.